everyone. Welcome back to another episode of Why I Love Flagler County, your local podcast spotlighting local businesses and local residents on what they love about being a part of this community. So I'm super excited to have my guest Andrea with us today. Andrea, thank you so much for the time today. I really
Thank
appreciate it.
you. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Well, you've just become such a great friend to me and our family, and you're one of those very supportive people who has a huge vision. And I'm so happy to be a part of this journey that you're about to embark on, the one you've been embarked on. So there's just a lot of great stuff that we're going to talk about today. So I'll let you kind of kick us off and just tell me a little bit about your journey coming here to Flagler.
Everyone knows I am an autism mom. I have twin boys who were both diagnosed with autism when they were the age of 3. And I, as a single mom, raised them single-handedly by myself, which was a very hard journey in itself. Not knowing anything about autism and then just actually walking in the unknown every single day, trial and error with everything that I did with my boys. It made for a really, really tough journey, but I stood the test. And my boys are now 22 years old, and I am an empty nester. So I had an invitation to visit Florida, Palm Coast, Florida. And I came here and they took me to the beach, and I fell in love. And my next move was to plan to move to Palm Coast, Florida, because it was just, I say it's a place of peace for me. I found that place of peace here in Flagler County at Flagler Beach. Having to raise my boys, both of them ends of the spectrum. One was a little easier than the other. The
Sure.
one that was not so easy, it occupied a lot of my time, attention, and energy, to the point where I battled depression as I was raising them. So for years, I battled depression and being the best mom I possibly could be for my special need twins. So it caused a lot of stress in my life, a lot of anxiety in my life. So to become an empty nester, something I was told would never happen for me because of the level of attention or assistance that my one son needed, I would never be able to have my home to myself or have my time and energy to myself. Um, Being able to get to that point where I actually became an empty nester was huge. So to be able to come to Florida and go to the beach and watch the sunrise, oh my goodness, such an amazing experience and a totally amazing experience. So it helped make my decision whether I wanted to move or not. And
Wow.
I did
Here we are.
it.
Well, I think it's so amazing, and I want to touch really quick on how impressive it is, for so many people to kind of be betting against you and betting against your family, because it's not just the fact that people are saying this, and I know a lot of people weren't saying that because they wanted to like beat you down or anything. It's,
Right.
a lot of them are looking at like maybe the reality of the cases. They've had experiences in the past that they're telling you information based off, but I think it just goes to show that with the right type of care and the right type of attention and love, that a lot of these things that people don't expect to happen can happen.
Yes.
And it's not like you're celebrating being an empty nester, but you're more so celebrating, your son's independence and the fact that he can be on his own,
Yes.
and or he
Yes.
can be out there without you. So I hope everyone is hearing that in the same way I'm hearing that, because it's not one of those things
Yes.
like, I don't have my kids. It's not that. And I don't think
Right.
anyone
Correct.
did hear that, but I just want to make sure that I'm really spotlighting how
Absolutely.
amazing and special that is that you were able to do that for your
Yes.
boys. And
Yes.
to have twins who are both autistic when you're a
I
single
know.
mom, and you've
Yes.
shared some of your journey with me in the past. And I want to say, being in my age and my generation, I feel like now more than ever we're having more conversations and resources about it. But I know back then it was very bare,
Yeah.
it
Very,
was
very, very
very nothing out there.
limited,
Yeah.
extremely limited. And even when my boys were diagnosed, the doctors just told me it was a neurological condition that affected their brain. And then
Hmm.
they gave me a handful of pamphlets. That was
Mm.
it.
Yeah.
That was it. And coming from someone that really didn't know a lot about autism or even special needs, That was, uh, I'm stratigraphic for me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that was terrible.
It's
It was like,
hard.
okay, so now what do I do? And then I was explaining to someone the other day when the doctors told me that autism affected the brain. I, not knowing a lot about autism, I know the brain is a very important organ to the body. And without it, you're not able to, most people don't live without the functioning of your brain. You don't have the activities of your limbs without your brain functioning completely. So to me, it was a death sentence. I thought they were
Mm.
telling me that my twins were going to die because something was wrong
Oh,
with their brain. So
yeah.
to hand me a handful of pamphlets that did no good for me. It was like,
Wow.
you just told me, like, you gave me a death sentence twice. And a
Yeah.
pamphlet is supposed to help. So I did dive into researching trying to find out what really was autism. What is it really?
Right.
And I had to single-handedly figure out how to help my boys. So when I say I'm an empty nester, that means what I did, what I learned to help my boys with autism, it worked because
Yeah.
now my boys are able to function a lot more so without me.
Mm.
Um, Still need some assistance, but
Sure.
they don't need assistance from me around the clock. I'm able to
Yeah.
allow them to venture out as young adults and learn how to be young adults on the autism spectrum. And I don't have to be there 24/7 to make sure that they're
Yeah.
good. They're
And one
taking
of
the
them
right steps.
recently got married, right?
Not No, that was my oldest son.
Oh, that
That
was your
he
older
doesn't have
son.
autism. Yeah, that was my
I
oldest
gotcha.
son. Yeah,
Either way.
no, not one of the
Um,
twins. But I have to say, Andre, the baby twin, does have a girlfriend.
There you go. But I do want to talk about something that's very, very special that you're doing right now. You're about to embark on a very exciting journey.
Yes.
So you wrote a book, which is just amazing. And guys, if the only reason I'm like skimming over some of her amazing accomplishments is just because she has so many and we could talk about it all day. And I'm just trying to respect her time right now. So she has a book. We just started her podcast where she gets to talk about her incredible journey, spotlighting other journeys as well. But there's something very special that you're starting up as well here in Flagler County in Northeast Florida. Do you want to talk a little bit about that?
Yes, yes. Well, I'm from Maryland. Actually, I am from New York, upstate New York. And when the boys were diagnosed with autism, New York did not have a lot to offer. So again, I did a lot of research, and I wanted to find some place that I could take my boys that would give me the help that they needed. And Maryland State ranked number 2 in the country.
Hmm.
And when I called, I talked to the administrator for the Board of Education, and they literally rolled out the red carpet for me and the boys. And they helped me. They actually held my hand step by step, getting the services that my boys needed. And I'm telling you, the Howard County public school system in Maryland State did a fantastic job
Wow.
with my boys. And then, like I said, I had been through so much. I was ready for a change when they got to that age. Um, and I got a little glimpse of Florida. I moved here and I left them in Maryland, but I do want them to come here to Florida with me. Florida does not have many resources for young adults on the autism spectrum. They do have services for children on the autism spectrum, but very, very, and I mean very little resources for young adults. So I'm sitting here and I'm like, how can I get my boys to Florida with me? I didn't turn my back on them. It's not like I moved to Florida and they're in Maryland, they're on their own. I want them close to me. So I'm started looking in Florida for different resources that I could get the boys into to help be able to move them here. And I found almost nothing. I
Wow.
did find one place, Vincent's Clubhouse, but they're just newly starting out too.
Right.
So I'm sitting here like, what can I do? And it just hit me, start your own.
Yeah.
And my fiance said to me, when you find a business that doesn't exist but has a strong need, start it yourself. So I've been introduced to a lot of people who are willing to collaborate with me and help me open, own, and operate my own adult day center for special need young adults. It's still like at the beginning stages, but I am so excited. I am so motivated to get this done because this is going to help me get my boys here in the state of Florida and have them to be able to still continue to thrive as young adults.
Yeah,
I'm excited. I'm
that
just super excited.
I'm excited for you. Like, I know there have been so many meetings you've been at with people
Yes,
discussing it and
yes.
different organizations and stuff, and it's just so great. And I'm always keeping my ear to the floor because, I was just kind of sharing that I feel like now more than ever we're finally opening up to like the destigmatization, is that the word? Of just discussing this.
Right,
I know
right.
that back then, and when I say back then, I don't even mean that long ago. It was seen as
Mhm.
kind of like a moral failing to have something like
Yeah,
autism or have any type of neurodivergency, which is like
right.
makes no sense because it's not something you choose, right?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like you said, it's something in your brain.
Yes.
So I'm just so happy to hear. And I was recently talking with a lady. I was just doing like, one-on-one conversation with her,
Mhm.
like learning about her business. And then she goes, "Hey, Macy, before we hop off, I want to share this. This is very special to me. It's very close to my heart. It's like my daughter has autism." And I'm like, "Oh my God, please tell me
Wow.
more." And she just shares her story with me. And it was towards the end of the meeting, so we didn't even have that much time. But I was just so moved by her story and what she was doing for her community and what she was or affiliated with. And I was like, I have so many people I need to connect you with because I love what you're doing and how you're helping the community and stuff. And
Yes.
I'm just
Yes.
always attracted to those people who
Oh,
see a
yes.
problem and they don't sit and they just talk about it like they're doing something about it. They're going and they're going to be that change.
Yeah. I was in Starbucks the other day. I love their chai tea latte. Oh,
Oh, do
my
you?
favorite. And I had a t-shirt on that said Autism Mom. And I was
Mm,
standing there waiting for my drink to come up. And this young lady approached me. She goes, "Oh my goodness, are you really an autism mom?" And I'm like, "Yes, I am. I have twins who are on the spectrum, but they are now young adults." And she goes, "Oh my God, my son is too." And then she started asking me, she asked me if she could ask me questions. And I'm absolutely. And I let her know that I'm new to Florida, so I don't really know a lot, but I am on that track to learning as much as I possibly can about the whole state of Florida, not just Flagler County. I'm trying to learn as much as I can about the whole entire state when autism is concerned. And she and I ended up, we took our drinks and sat down at a table. We ended up talking an hour and a half
wow.
about our different journeys. Her son is 30 years old, and she was telling me some things that she's going through, and I told her about things that I went through. It was absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. It is so refreshing to meet other people that are going through the same thing that you're going through because at a time in my life raising my boys, I felt so alone. I felt like nobody understood. And to meet people that can actually genuinely understand your journey, it's awesome. It's
Yeah.
so awesome.
It
Yes.
is, and that's just so special for me to hear, and I'm so glad that, you're wearing a shirt like that and people feel
Oh yeah.
comfortable to come up because
Yeah.
you're a very approachable person. I feel like I see you in public and I'm like, I just want to talk to her, and she has just such great energy. So that's such a special story to hear that you guys were able to open up and
Oh
talk. And
yeah.
she was a stranger literally an hour and a half
Absolutely.
before. But
Absolutely.
you're able to bond on a level that a lot
Yeah.
of people, you may not have so quickly bonded with.
Right.
So Andrea, I really appreciate you coming on and sharing a few minutes with me. This time has just flown by,
I
it's
know,
it's
right?
crazy. But if anyone's interested in learning more about Andrea and her story and what she's doing, I'm gonna put all of her information in the description. You can click, copy, and paste. Obviously, this was a very, very short version of her story, but she has her full version up on her YouTube channel. So I'll link that in the description. Go check it out. Spend a few minutes, listen to it while you're in the car. It's one of those like it can be kind of hard to listen to. I really appreciate her vulnerability and opening up on it. But it's one of those stories that you just have to hear. So Andrea, thank you again so much for the
Thank you.
time.
Thank you,
This
Macy. You
this
are
was
amazing as
oh,
well.
thank
Thank you so
you.
much.
I'm just so honored to know someone like you, one of those go-getters in the community. So again, thank you for your time, and to everyone watching, I really appreciate you as well, and I'll see you next time. Bye.